HOA tried to find my daughter for a science project. She's NASA's youngest recruit. My daughter launched a weather balloon. Karen popped it with her heel, and in doing so, she stomped on more than latex and helium. She stomped on genius, on dreams, on the belief that the world will support your spark instead of suffocating it. My name's Mateo Delgado, single dad, physics teacher. I've lived in West Maple Crest for 6 years, long enough to know the neighborhood's rhythm and long enough to know when something starts to rot from the inside. My daughter's name is Sophia, 15 years old, brilliant beyond her years, shy until you start talking stars, and the youngest ever accepted into NASA's Junior Research Fellowship program. She designed a weather balloon with a homemade solar tracker for her final project. It was her dream to launch it from our front yard, document wind patterns, and submit her findings to the fellowship board. It was the proudest moment of our lives, until Karen showed up. Karen's real name is Colleen Parkhurst. She moved in 2 doors down last year and immediately self-appointed herself the interim HOA code steward. There is an HOA in our community, but it's toothless of few volunteers. No real enforcement power, just neighborhood watch meetings and reminders about mowing your lawn. But Karen brought structure, clipboard checks, violation warnings in red envelopes, and a printed rule book of her own making, complete with compliance thresholds for porch decor and an arbitrary ban on unregulated air-based activities. Sophia's balloon, apparently, violated Section 5 unauthorized suspended orbs. I kid you not, the morning of the launch, Sophia was glowing. She had her logbook, her camera, her laptop, and her little hand-painted sign that read, "Experimental launch site, please stay clear." She set everything up on the corner of the yard, triple-checked airspace clearance through FAA's recreational flight page, and tied the balloon's string to a weighted tripod. Neighbors were curious, even excited. Mr. Reeves from across the street brought his grandson. A few kids on bikes came by. Everyone stood back respectfully until Karen stormed out of her house, shrieking, "Shut this down right now." Sophia looked up, confused. Karen marched over, heels stabbing into the grass. "You are conducting an illegal aerial release. That balloon is a threat. Where are your permits?" "It's for NASA," Sophia whispered. "I have clearance. I submitted it online." Karen stepped on the tether. The balloon popped. The sound was sharp, brutal, like a dream being murdered in real time. Sophia dropped to her knees. Her logbook spilled open. Karen kept going. "You'll be fined. This is a residential violation of multiple codes." I stepped outside just in time to see my daughter's eyes fill with tears. She wasn't crying for the balloon. She was crying because someone had invalidated her brilliance with brute, self-righteous ignorance. I couldn't yell. I was too stunned. So I took out my phone and started filming. The footage went viral. In under 24 hours, it spread across local Facebook groups, then Reddit, then Twitter. Karen destroys NASA Girls Balloon Project, HOA versus Science. Guess who wins when HOA power trips? Go Galactic. NASA's youth program page picked it up. Sophia's mentor, Dr. Lillian Hayes, reposted it with the caption, "This young woman is going to change the world. HOA be damned." But that was just the beginning. Behind the scenes, I dug deeper. Turns out, Karen had been fining people left and right. Not real fines, just threats that looked official enough to scare folks. One neighbor paid $75 for decorative gnome overpopulation. Another was warned about overhanging bush aggression. None of it was in the real HOA guidelines. Karen had fabricated a shadow rule book, complete with fake bylaws and printed case files. She even designed a seal West Maple Preservation League and claimed it was ratified by the county. It wasn't. Sophia, being Sophia, created a PDF comparing the real HOA rules with Karen's fake ones, complete with hyperlinks and time-stamped photos. We posted it publicly. That's when it exploded. The real HOA board called an emergency session. Dozens of neighbors attended. I brought Sophia. She stood in front of them with her shattered balloon remains and calmly explained how she had complied with FAA rules, how her project had already been approved by NASA, and how Karen had not only destroyed her equipment, but done so under false authority. Karen stood up mid-meeting and shouted, "That balloon could have crashed into a plane." Sophia calmly replied, "It had a max altitude of 800 feet. Commercial airspace starts at 3,000. Applause broke out. Karen walked out. By the end of the week, the HOA issued a formal apology to Sophia. Karen was stripped of any volunteer title. A cease and desist was filed against her use of fraudulent documents. Several neighbors filed civil complaints for emotional harassment and false notices. The best part, NASA sent Sophia a replacement weather balloon kit with a handwritten note from an actual astronaut. "Your science matters. Let no one tell you otherwise." Last weekend, we held a neighborhood STEM Saturday. Sophia launched her new balloon, this time from the community green with 30 kids watching, holding notebooks and cheering as it rose gently into the sky. I stood beside her, heart full, and watched her smile widen with every foot it climbed. Karen peeked out from behind her curtains but didn't step outside. Not anymore. Call to action. Has someone ever tried to destroy your or your child's light with made-up rules and fake authority? Where do we draw the line between neighborhood standards and community suppression? Tell us your story, because brilliance doesn't need permission, it just needs space to rise.